Matt Gaetz has weighed in on this whole Kevin McCarthy for Speaker debacle, which of course we've talked about how, for the most part, the Republican Party is behind Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. But some individuals on the most radical edge, minus Marjorie Greene, as we just talked about, Marjorie Greene is in favor of Kevin McCarthy for a number of reasons. But some of the Freedom Caucus in Congress is against Kevin McCarthy for not being radical enough, or whatever it is, not being MAGA enough. And Matt Gaetz is kind of leading that charge. And this is a fascinating dynamic that's playing out, because if they indeed stick to their guns, as Matt Gaetz is saying they will, it would put Kevin McCarthy's speakership in jeopardy and cause quite the ruckus among the Republican Party, which would be a lot of fun to see. But here's him on Steve Bannon laying out how he has enough votes right now, Matt Gaetz that is, to prevent Kevin McCarthy from becoming Speaker.
Sure. To catch everyone up, last week there were 36 votes against Kevin McCarthy in the Republican conference. And again, Kevin has had years to try to convince people of the worth of his candidacy. Since that time, 0 of those 36 have come out to say, you know what, I voted against McCarthy previously, but I am now prepared to vote for him on the floor. 0. Meanwhile, 5 members, which include myself, Andy Biggs, Bob Good, Matt Rosendale, and now most recently Ralph Norman, have all come out and said that our no vote on McCarthy is firm. It was not just a no vote within the Republican conference. It is a no vote we intend to carry to the floor. The reason that's significant is because Republicans are expected to hold a 4-seat majority. So 5 of us saying publicly we have no intention of voting for McCarthy, we are firm in our opposition to him, well, that ought to trigger a realization among Republicans that we need a consensus candidate. We need someone who is more broadly respected throughout the Republican conference, and we need someone who believes in a bottom-up, membership-empowered House of Representatives, a top-down...
Okay, so here's what's interesting about that. He's saying we need a consensus candidate, someone that is more broadly supported within the Republican Party. But when you look at the different options, I think someone who is as radical as Matt Gaetz is, who is as, well, what is it, Congressional Freedom Caucus or whatever, who would be supported by the Matt Gaetzes in Congress, I don't think would be moderate enough, weird to use that word in the context of any of these individuals, but let's go there, moderate enough for some of the more moderate Republican congressmen and women. And so Kevin McCarthy, actually, when you look at it, has done enough, I think, if you're looking from the perspective of the hardcore MAGA people, to please them. He went down to Trump and at Mar-a-Lago, licked his boots, all that type of stuff, and also has gotten along with the more moderate Republicans. And so you would think that would be the right option for them, even though, again, none of the options I like. But Matt Gaetz is saying absolutely not. We are standing against Kevin McCarthy's speakership, and I have enough votes as of now, 5 who are outspoken saying they will stand against this, to prevent it if it was held today, the vote, right? Which is fascinating and would be really wild to see if that ended up happening. Now, I'm sure Kevin McCarthy is doing everything behind the scenes to try to finagle that reality and work with these individuals and promise them certain things to change their minds. But again, if not Kevin McCarthy, then who? And I do think if Kevin McCarthy does indeed get slapped down, led in the effort to do so by Matt Gaetz, then the Republican Party is going to be in a crisis mode, because you're not in a good place if you can't agree upon a leader to lead your party. Otherwise, that just does bolster the Democratic Party's strength within Congress for sure. And so very interesting dynamic playing out. Hopefully the ruckus will continue and we'll get to watch it all from the sidelines. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/LukeBeasley. That's patreon.com/LukeBeasley, and there is a link in the description.